Hi everyone, welcome back to Kat's Book Corner, and Merry Christmas. I am filming this on Christmas Day because I did just finish one of my books. So I'm going to do what I did last week, where I am going to give you my ratings of the 3 books that were left on my TBR with no spoilers, and then I will go into spoilers, and then I will talk about my January TBR. I'm gonna save a haul if I get books for Christmas until I've seen all of my family for Christmas. Alright, so let's get started. First is Eclipse, and I was a little surprised by it because it wasn't as terrible as New Moon, because that's 2. I absolutely hated this one. This one was a 3. I actually enjoyed it. It's not a book I would ever read again, but I am happy that I did read it at least once. And there were a few things that did interest me, and I am optimistic about the last one in the series. So this was a 3-star. And otherwise, it was fine. It wasn't my favorite, but it was alright. Now moving on to The Demon King by Cynthia William Chena. This was a 4.5. I loved the characters, and Han, he reminded me a lot of Kaz Breaker from Six of Crows, which is my absolutely favorite book I've ever read. I liked the characters. It was a little slow for me, but I did like all of the pacing, and there were a few characters that I did like. So this book is a 4.5. Now moving on to the last one I read, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, who is one of my favorite authors, because I read Vicious by her a couple months ago, and that was a 5-star as well, but this one is a 5-star. I love the concept, I love the worlds, I love the magic, I love the characters. I absolutely love this book. I really, really did. Okay, let's go into spoilers. Starting with Eclipse. I love the backstory of the characters. Like, we got Jasper's backstory with him being a new vampire, which I thought was very interesting. And then we got Rose's backstory, which was so sad, but I really liked it. I absolutely hate the love triangle. I do hate it, because if Jacob stopped pushing, then it wouldn't have even been an issue. And I love the unhingedness of the vampires, because when she's mad at Jacob and she's talking to Edward, he's like, well, I could slip, I could kill him. I mean, I could. I love the unhingedness. It was, I think, my favorite part of the book. I don't like Bella as a character, but I get why she's the main character. And her struggling with the actual closeness of her becoming a vampire. And I liked that Victoria was in it, and the Vitali. I really liked it, like those little aspects, but otherwise it was fine. Not my favorite, but something that I'm glad I picked up for at least once. Now this one is about Han and Risa. I love both those characters. Han reminds me of Kaz Breaker, except he's not exactly sure why he's so good at what he is. Kaz knew, at least. And Risa's the princess who doesn't want to follow with tradition. She wants to marry when she wants. She wants to involve the clan ways and not the ways her mom wants. And there's Micah. And the guard, I forget his name. What is his name? The Corporal Brain, I think? I can't exactly remember. And I love how she's just going around kissing who she wants, just having a good time. And Micah, he reminds me a lot of Draco Malfoy, surprisingly. Because through a lot of it, he doesn't really want to do what his dad wants. Sure, he's bloodthirsty and heartless, a lot like how Draco was in the 6th book. But literally, at the end, when her mom's about to say that she's getting married to him when that's illegal, he says, neither of us have a choice in the matter. we'll be good together. Like, he doesn't want to, but he understands it's what his dad wants, and he can exactly say no to him. And I love, like, they tell you in the beginning that the Demon King isn't exactly a bad guy. And you're supposed to think, well, how can that be true? And every other character's thinking that. But, and then you find out it's Han's ancestor. And you get to see Han with his family, who end up just gone. And when they meet each other, it's actually kind of cute because she knows who Han is. He knows that he's Cuffs. He's the one who ran Ride Market. But she doesn't do that anymore, and she doesn't know that. And he doesn't even know her as who she is. He just knows her as, like, Rebecca. And, like, they had, like, kind of a mutual attraction, and they went to see each other again. But Risa thinks he's dead at the end, and, like, she's running away in order to stay safe from the magicians. And as soon as Han figured out he had magic, he was like, I'm gonna kill the royals. I'm gonna learn how to use this, and I'm gonna kill them. And the wizards. Because they killed my mom and my sister. So now he doesn't even trust anyone. And he's with his friend Dancer, who I liked. And we find out he's a descendant of the Demon King. I really liked it. I liked a lot of the characters in it. Okay, let's go with Darker Shade of Magic. Just finished this 10 minutes ago. And it's following Kel and Delilah. So Lila, I love, like, how he's one of the only people who's able to travel to these 3 worlds, and how he doesn't feel like he exactly belongs. He's more of a product to the royal family, even if he doesn't feel that way about his brother. It's just something that he feels. And then Lila's the thief, and there's, like, teeniest bit of romance. Like, they've kissed each other twice, and they're glad that each other's okay. And I don't need romance for it to be a good book, but I really did like that. And, like, you're fighting against White London and Red London. I love the way that it was described, and how magic was actually the big bad at the end, and they had to dispel the magic. And Race, his brother, and he, like, basically sacrificed his life for him, but Race was like, I don't want you to do that. How could you do that? I really liked it. It was, I really liked it. And you get to see, like, how, like, magic is failing, doesn't exist in basically one of the Londons. It's thriving in one, and then it's, like, it's fleeting in the other because of Black London, which is, like, where magic basically ran rampant. And, like, they've got this piece of it that just keeps trying to take from them in order to have a living host, which they had to beat in the end. And they beat it by, like, dispelling it throughout. And Holland made me sad because Holland was the person exactly like Kel from White London, who just was in the wrong place at the wrong time and just got bound by the king and queen there. And he gave up at the end. He let Kel kill him. Well, kill him. He's not exactly dead because it's hard to kill them. And then there's, we find out that Lila has one glass eye, and she can't remember how she lost it, but she thinks it's an accident. And, like, in the book, the people who are like Kel have one black eye and one normal eye. So I'm like, maybe if magic still thrived in her world, she'd be exactly what he is, because she was able to travel between the worlds, which no one besides people with that type of magic can do. So I am interested to read the second book. Really interested. So there's that. Now let's go into my TBR. First one is Gone by Michael Grant. This is a book about, like, parents go missing. It reminds me a lot of the show The Spartacle Experiment. I liked that show when it was on Netflix a while ago. And they have to figure out, like, how to survive without their parents. But I am excited. Then there's Freeing Lindenhurst Into the Tunnels, which is the second one, because I read the first one a month ago. So I am excited to read this one. I have no idea what it's about, but there are tunnels in Lindenhurst, so maybe that's what it is. Then we have The Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. Now, this is kind of like a retelling of Ursula, basically. But why she's Ursula, I think. I'm not really sure, but I'm excited for that. Then there is Lightlark. And it kind of reminds me a little of Hunger Games, but like magical Hunger Games. I heard mixed reviews on this one, so I am excited to try it. Then there's a very popular book that I actually have never read before, but I am excited. Court of Thorns and Roses. Never read it, and I heard this is the worst one in the series, so I kind of want to finish it in order to get to the better ones that everyone says. So, I'm excited. Then there's one my little sister actually picked out of the bookstore. The one that got away with murder, and it's about these two rich boys who got away with murder, and this other girl who's like is just as mysterious comes into town. So, thought that was interesting. Then there is The Master of One, which I really don't know what this one's about. It's about like all these people coming together to do something. I honestly don't know. It says Score of a Lifetime, and it's kind of reminded me of Six of Crows, so maybe. Now this is my reread of the month. The Game of Thrones 5th one, Dance of Dragons. It's my reread. I'm only rereading it so I can like tab it, because I haven't tabbed any of these books. I just read them really fast last year. Then there's Kingdom of the Wicked, which I am excited. I've also heard mixed reviews about this one, but I'm assuming it's about the deadly sins, considering this is in the front. It has all the deadly sins there. So maybe it's about that, making a deal with the demon or something. And then there's Gilded, which I think is like kind of like a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. So I'm excited to try that. And that's all the books I had. Now, the ones I think I am most excited for are, let's see, these four I think I am the most excited for. Those four. And the ones that are in my middle, where I don't have any feeling about, I think are the rest. These 5 I don't have any feelings about. I'm excited to read all of them, just don't really know. And then this one I kind of want to get out of the way because I already read it. But I mean, I think it is the longest one that's out so far. I think it was my favorite one. So, well, if you liked it, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment below. And Merry Christmas. Bye.